NTV.
Thanks our viewers for joining us. I'm Karagal Bodwins and we're coming to you live from the Kampala International Conference Center. We're disrupting normal programming to bring you an urgent discussion on a national matter of great concern. That is the road safety status in Uganda. Before we go into a direct studio discussion, please let's have this overview briefly about this subject.
Every year, nearly 1.25 million people are killed and up to 50 million people injured on the world's roads. In 2010, the General Assembly of the United Nations proclaimed a decade of action for road safety. The goal of the decade, running from 2011 to 2020, is to stabilize and then reduce the forecast level of road traffic deaths around the world. The first United Nations Road Safety Performance Review for Uganda, conducted in 2017, established that the magnitude of the road safety challenge is serious and has unfortunately failed to attract the necessary attention for appropriate interventions. At present, Uganda seems highly unlikely to achieve the goals of the United Nations Decade of Action for Road Safety of stabilizing and reducing the forecast level of road fatalities by 2020. On the contrary, unless effective interventions are implemented, road crashes are likely to increase and even double within the next 10 years. In the last decade alone, recorded road crash fatalities rose from 2,597 to 3,503 in 2016, representing a growth of 25.9%. The accident severity index is 24 people killed per 100 road crashes. On average, Uganda loses 10 people per day in road traffic crashes, which is the highest level in East Africa. The overall annual cost of road crashes is currently estimated at approximately 4.4 trillion Uganda shillings, which is about $1.2 billion, representing 5% of Uganda's gross domestic product. This show, brought to you by the Uganda Insurers Association in conjunction with the Uganda Police, seeks to highlight the current challenge and the way forward for road safety in Uganda. You're welcome.
And indeed, thanks for joining us this Friday evening. I'm Karagal Bodwins once again. It's a delight for us to bring you such discussions. And in studio tonight, I have a resplendent gentleman. And on my extreme left, I have the gentleman called Christopher Bakesiga, Technical Officer, Uganda Insurers Association. Christopher, you're welcome.
Thank you very much.
And in the middle, with the gallant look of the Uganda Police Traffic Force, of the Uganda Traffic Police Force uniform, Mr. Charles Sebam Mbolide, in charge of enforcement in, of course, the Traffic Directorate, Uganda Police. Charles, you're welcome.
Thank you.
And just let me just start with you, because you've heard the statistics as we've been trying to highlight them. And the report of the accident incident by the Uganda Police through its General Crime Report 2017 indicates that there was a slight drop of about 8% in that whole recording, the statistic of accident reporting. There seems to be some improvement. So let's first start with the positives. What at least has caused a slight improvement in this regard? In as much as, of course, just to make sure that the audience gets to understand that there is about over 3,000 people dying per year out of these accidents. Yes, Charles.
Thank you, Bodwin. Good evening, viewers. As a traffic officer, I think you have already seen those records. I can't say we are there or we are about to be there, but at least there are efforts in place. True, when you always look at those statistics and you see, at least you have said, the number of accidents have gone down, but the fatalities, the number of people who have died, slightly up. Yes, how have we achieved to ensure that at least the number of accidents have gone down? Several interventions have been made. For example, we have right now enhanced enforcement. When we talk of enhanced enforcement, we mean physical presence on roads. That one works on the attitude of the people. At the same time, it also implies that there may be punitive action in case you either overspeed or do what. Then next, we also have gone high-tech. We have brought in like high-tech speed guns. These are used on road. You earlier talked about speed as one of the things which are actually causing many of these fatalities. But now with the speed guns we have in place and put down, coupled, of course, they are called multiplier effect. Much as we are on ground, at the same time you have also speed guns in place, and they help us also on detecting, catching these people who are overspeeding, definitely on the roads down there. Then, of course, also we have other effects, like when you look at many of our roads have been paved. When you see paved roads, Uganda 10 years back, the roads were not paved as they are. Of course, when people get on roads, they are excited.
Paved as tarmac.
Tarmac, exactly, tarmac. They keep on overspeeding. Yes, overspeeding. What's the nature of the vehicles we have? Many of our vehicles here are second-hand. They come second-hand. So you speed, go beyond 80 kilometers per hour, definitely anything can happen. But definitely with this I have identified, we are doing something, and I hope we shall be there, though we are not yet there.
Okay, and just Christopher, to the report I'm talking about of Uganda Road Safety Performance Review, which was done in 2017, just the most current. It's actually one of the most authoritative reports on the road safety, and says one of the comments made is that the road safety culture and attitudes in Uganda are declining to the detriment of the safety of road users. This is largely due to weak leadership for road safety, declining priority of allocation of resources, and diminishing capacity for road safety interventions. When you look at such a remark done in this conglomerate, of course, of all stakeholders for this performance review, there seems to be quite a dislink between the actual governance of the whole traffic road safety system and, of course, what these people do. What other solutions do you propose are being propounded to make sure that actually this issue is properly managed?
Thank you very much, Baldwin. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, like you said, Afandi, I would just want to bring it back that some of the reasons that these accidents have not really declined so much, I think we have a culture or an attitude problem as motorists. We don't have that attitude of let me probably let someone else take the way before I take the way. We only think about ourselves. We don't think about anyone else. So everyone who is on the road has that attitude of I don't care about the other person. But then there are so many things that have been put in place, and I must commend the police. They have done so many things. However, they need to be re-emphasized. For example, we used to have the cases with the seat belts. We had it came around, someone died, I think. We had it came around, and then in a month or two or something, no one cared about seat belts anymore. I mean, it's the attitude that we have, because you know police is going to catch you, then you have to put on a seat belt. So, and then of course,
but don't you think that actually that is where the crux of the matter is, that if you have a law and it's not enforced, you're not going to presume that actually law will be kept. So the absence of enforcement is actually the one that exacerbates the problem. So you cannot just throw it back to the population and say,
no, like I said,
because you're talking about having had an experience of it actually getting to be solved, or the problem getting to be reduced when enforcement was there. So if you make that analysis, actually enforcement is the problem.
No, the enforcement is good. It's there. It's just that we, the motorists, have also a problem. We want to be pushed around. We don't care about ourselves that much. And then, until we have a different mindset, then we can have better roads. I mean, less accidents on the roads. So when I talk about all that, I mean, probably we can even have the punishments, these punishments,
actually,
what do you call it? The penalties,
the
express penalties.
Scheme.
Yes,
we have there's a section on the EPS of the seat belt.
yes,
And actually, we get several of them and are always punished. But to my surprise, as he talked of attitude, you find somebody sees the police, he gets the thing,
rushes.
puts it here, just strips a bit, catches it, does not even fix it, drives, bypasses the police, leaves it.
yes.
That the seatbelt is for you, strictly for you, for your safety. You are not doing it. You are not doing a favor to the police officer.
Yes.
You are not doing a favor to any other person. Actually, when we punish you and we give you an express penalty and you go to pay, we are in a way pinching you so that next time, whenever you reach that age, you remember, oh, I have not fixed my seatbelt, I may be punished. Just because we want you to stay alive, to be good, you don't add on those figures they are talking about, so that much as we reduce the numbers, let's also reduce the figures as well.
Okay, so let me just go for a break. We'll come back and just delve in slightly deeper into that report, and then our viewers, please, let's just have a short break and then come back into this discussion. Thank you, our viewers, for keeping with us. We're discussing the phenomenon of the Uganda road safety status and, of course, dealing with the motorist behavior, the accident reports, and all the management of the infrastructure of Uganda's transport network. So we are talking about this, and the most authoritative report is a Uganda Road Safety Performance Review report, which was done in 2017, and it says this, Charles and Christopher, that road safety statistics show that urban areas have a big road safety challenge due to the high volumes and nature of transport operations. For example, in 2016, despite the fact that the Kampala city road network accounted for about 50% of the total number of crashes and 22% of all fatal crashes, the city lacks a major road safety program. So, Christopher, rather Charles, of course you're in the thick of this. With the infrastructure of our city, and of course the rest of the country, is it sufficiently developed enough? If it's not, what are the key things that need to be dealt with immediately to actually substantially reduce this whole problem?
Thank you very much. Actually, when you talk about fatalities, majority of the people who die in accidents are pedestrians. The second category are passengers. Then perhaps, and these passengers being on border, and the rest crossing roads. And where do we get the biggest number of pedestrians? In urban areas, cities, of course, being the biggest, then come to municipalities. And how, whenever a road is constructed or a road is tarmacked or paved, as I said earlier, definitely people tend to come and construct houses along the main road, and trading centers come off. So when we are making, like in Kampala here, if we are to address the issue of accidents, we must tailor how do we help the pedestrians. For example, if you know peak hours, like in the evening, right from Clock Tower going to Katwe, you'll find actually the volume of people on road, pedestrians, is competing, is even bigger than actually the motorists themselves. Yes. And they are all struggling for the motorway itself. So our infrastructure in the cities does not have walkways, it does not have sideways, perhaps for borders, or you find people all struggle to move on the motorway, and then the borders, you find them going on the pedestrian ways. So that's why you see this program which is coming, they are trying to make flyovers, and they are trying also to make these walkways on flyovers and other roads, so that pedestrians at least are separated from motorists. And again, the riders also, when according to our laws, a motorcycle rider is supposed to be on the extreme left. We keep left in Uganda, extreme left. Then the vehicles definitely are always in the middle. And if you are overtaking, you must always come to the right. You never take. So you find the motorcycle is on the extreme left. The vehicles are driving. But again, if he wants to overtake a vehicle, he will come again on the right. So you can imagine that struggling alone. That's where you find at least once in a while the taxi is also stopping here, the next door, and they crisscross. Who are the culprits? I mean, not the culprits, the victims. A passenger on a motorcycle, or a pedestrian who is crossing the road. So, yes, we are not yet there, but at least in Kampala, you have seen they have tried to make pavements, and the pedestrian walkways somehow are a bit raised. Yes. And KCC has started putting this. There are some iron bars, so that a vehicle or a motorcycle cannot cross in there. At least that one makes it safer for the pedestrians to move. And how do you look at our enforcement? Actually, when you talk about the highways, Masaka Road, we are not there. Much of the traffic is concentrated within Kampala here. What are we doing in Kampala? We are on junctions, we are on junctions, and we are in all these other dark places because of one, controlling traffic jam, controlling these taxis which are driving on shoulders, driving on pavements. Yet we should be out there to ensure that people don't overspeed, to ensure that the vehicles are in mechanical good condition, to ensure that there is no drink driving, to ensure that the people who are driving are really the people who are qualified to do it. But when you are in the city center, come peak hours, morning hours, right from 6 up to around 9, then of course 4, 5 to again almost late in the night, you are busy in the junctions. Okay, so
the infrastructure is slightly being taken care of, exactly. And you're optimistic it will actually be sorted entirely. And Christian, thanks Charles. Christopher, yes, so you represent the Uganda Insurers Association. Association, which is the industry, and there is a report that the overall annual cost of road crashes is currently estimated at approximately 4.4 trillion, quite an enormous sum. And then you have the 2017 Insurance Act, which replaced the 1989 Insurance Act, and it's kept you as the authority, of course, still in place. And one wants to understand, of course, why you're on the show. Sure. So what is the role of the insurance in the insurance industry in helping in the betterment of the road safety status?
Okay, now briefly, for our viewers out there who probably don't have a good picture of what insurance is, basically it's a transfer. It's a transfer of a risk from one person to another who is in a better position to take care of it at a small fee, which we call a premium. So by shifting this burden from you to the insurer, those are one of the insurance companies, we were giving you a peace of mind, so that you rest assured that in case anything happens to you, someone is here to lift the burden off you. However, with respect to road safety, yes, we encourage that everyone who is on the road behaves as though they are uninsured. So when you're uninsured, you know you have to take care on the road. So basically you're trying to keep everyone safe. So by trying to better the country or the economy, we believe that an injury-free country, people improve our economy, because if people are not productive, they are all injured at the same time, there are accidents here and there, people are not going to be productive enough. So by providing our services as insurers, we are providing an economy that is going to be robust, because people are productive, people are not injured. When you get injured, you are compensated quickly and get back to work. So we as insurers, we have a vested interest in the economy of this country, so that because we want to keep everyone alive through provision of our services to the general public.
Okay, great. And we'll ask you about something more specific about your insurance industry on a motorist. But let me so Charles, there's a little of laws. The laws governing traffic are quite many, and I can mention just a few. The Traffic and Road Safety Act 1998, Statutory Instrument 361, the Traffic and Road Safety Motor Vehicle Inspection Regulations 2016, the Traffic and Road Safety Way Bridges Regulation 2010, the Traffic and Road Safety Speed Governance Regulation, and of course there's a multiplicity of stakeholders in this whole thing. Just briefly, however possible it is, give us just a framework under which you operate to ensure road safety in Uganda itself. Who are the key players? And of course police is there at the forefront. But I get to hear Ministry of Transport and Works. And yes.
Oh, thank you very much. But one, road safety, actually road safety, it's a broad thing. Police, under definitely the Director of Traffic, we do the enforcement. In road safety, there is what we normally call the 3 E's. That is engineering, enforcement, and education. So the police, we do the enforcement. We go on road. You have mentioned all the litany of the laws and whatever. We are on road to make sure that these are put in place. These are followed to ensure there is road safety. Then we have the engineering part. We have Ministry of Works, we have UNRA. UNRA design laws. I mean, they design the roads.
Yes.
They do the construction. And now, they ensure that those roads are also better. For example, these days we have terms for giving roads. They make road audits. And they ensure that the road they have constructed or they have designed are conforming to the modern road safety designs. Then we have the education. The education, we still have Ministry of Works. We have TLB, Transport License Board. This body is there to regulate PSVs, passenger service vehicles. Then we have the National Road Safety Council. The National Road Safety Council, that one is mandated with sensitization, sensitizing people about these roads, about going to schools, and actually even the Ministry of Education itself. We need to have, you remember those days, we used to have some curriculum embedded in the school, in infants, like when you are crossing, first look left, right, then you close. And we have several stakeholders, like United Insurers Association. We are here, they are stakeholders. We have Safeway Right Way. We have Vivo Energy. We have NTV. We had the caravan, you remember.
Last year,
stakeholders with the Vivo Energy, Total. So all those come in as stakeholders. And the government also has a role to now, like we have, you talked of Vision 2020. We have their UN protocols and conventions. Actually, government is in the process to ensure that all the UN conventions concerning road safety are ratified. Why? Once we ratify them, they are there with the commitments. There are some commitments you make. You ensure that we shall have a robust National Road Safety Council. We shall have ABC in the place. Even the roads we are putting in place, they are going to be designed well. We are going to have road safety audits. We are going also to commit such and such a percentage on funds to ensure that there is road safety. So government is in the process of ratifying those conventions, and we become, and once you ratify, definitely you must comply. So these are all stakeholders, and we together in that umbrella, Uganda Police and under Internal Affairs, Ministry of Works, and
several others, including the civil society.
Exactly.
Probably, well articulated. It's just too many of you, and I hope things will improve. And Charles, just lastly, before going into this break, there's the motto, the third party aspect, insurance, that is a mandatory requirement
Yes.
for every motorist to actually pay for under the 1989 Motor Vehicle Insurance Third Party Act, meant to provide for compulsory insurance against third party risks in respect of the use of vehicles. But most of the people in the population, and especially motorists, they feel that this is just a collaborative scheme to actually suck money out of people who are driving, and doesn't really pay up anyone, because people are actually being killed on the roads, and somebody cannot go through the rigor to seek for the the coverage of that cost.
Yes.
We need clarification on this, because I think most of us are up in arms saying we need to rip this out. It needs to be deleted off the the laws.
Thank you, Baldwin. You see, we've encountered this question quite so many times. I've been moving with him around, and every time people think we're in cohorts. They say, it looks like you guys are in cohorts. The police catches us, we bring you the money. But then, the thing is that, whereas this was put by government as a social protection mechanism to protect the road users, we believe that many of the road users, and probably the general public, do not clearly understand that this is meant to protect them. As much as we've tried to create awareness, yes, we've tried to create so much awareness. Even the police helps us to create awareness, but many do not believe that this is meant to protect them. Actually, many of them.
Okay, so tell us how it
the
protects
thing
them.
is,
Because if I knock a person, one, I'm obliged to pick them off forever.
Exactly.
I've knocked them take them to the hospital, and at times I incur the expense of taking care of that. Yes.
And
so is it because of my naivety?
Now,
yes.
You see, one way we've tried to make it easy is we've cut down on the requirements of our claims process. Because many of them, when they go to claim, they believe they're asking for this, they're asking for that. So we decided to cut them down to a small number. And the basic process is, there's an accident. Yes. As a law-abiding citizen, you are required probably to help the victim first. With this tendency of people running away from the crime scene. Help the victim. Immediately after helping the victim, call police. Because police needs to take measurements and inspect them. Then, call your insurer. It's very important. Call your insurer. The minute the accident happens, call your insurer. Let them know. If they are nearby, if it's during working hours, they can come to the scene. After that, police will probably provide you with an abstract. But before that, collect all your documents. You've taken the victims to a hospital. Get your receipts. Get your medical report. Put them together. Get the police abstract report and the sketch. Put it together. Take it to the insurer, because you need a form to fill a claim form. After filling the claim form, attach all these documents. And thereafter, you're going to be given a maximum of 2 weeks probably. Considering everything is okay, 2 weeks. An insurance company should be paying you. And we have other remedies. In case things are not moving as fast as you want, you can come to us. We have a regulator. Insurance Regulatory Authority.
Yes.
They are that is a very good organization where they help all clients. So you come to us, we help you. You can go to the RA, they can help you. So we've managed to reduce some of those requirements, and that makes it a very easy process for getting paid or getting your claim back. Yeah.
All right. So pretty well articulated. It's just that I have a constraint in time. I would have follow-up questions. So when we come back, Charles, I'm asking about corruption on the roads. Yeah. And then we'll talk about the indiscipline, the chronic indiscipline on the roads, how that can be curbed. And our viewers, thanks for keeping with us. I'm Kaga Borins. Please, let's go for a short break and we'll be back just right after this. Thank you, our viewers, for keeping with us. We're coming to you live from the Kampala International Conference Center, and we're discussing the road safety status of our traffic system in Uganda, of course, the entire transportation panorama. And Charles, I would be doing a disservice to our viewers if we don't talk about the corruption in conjunction, of course, with the population right on the roads in terms of enforcement and the compromise of the enforcement. It just that mix. Tell us how you're dealing with the issue with this particular conundrum of corruption, because literally every other research that is done by international corruption research monitors and with Transparency International, Uganda Human Rights Commission, all these other agencies, they rank police highly in that corruption bumble.
Thank you, Bodwin. No, I think sometime last year we were not ranked first.
Is that supposed to be a consolation?
However,
an improvement.
However,
Yes.
there is an improvement. Mainly in police, definitely police has stern instruction, and there is an internal mechanism to ensure that corruption is fought. As a force, we have the professional standards unit, and as traffic, we have a department just destined to fight corruption. If you move around on roads, go in police, ask about traffic, they will tell you how they are stand to fight corruption. You know, they always talk about Mutavingwa, if you have not heard about that name. We do. However, you see, it takes two to tango. I always want to advise the public right there. Don't allow to be compromised. And I applaud the few who come to our offices. Somebody stops you. He tries to linger around. He says, please, I'm going. What's the offense you have stopped me to? Don't dare. And you be calm. You stand firm. And as the problem, we also, sometimes some motorists want also to commit mistakes. Then they again now become the people to want to compromise police officers. And actually, when they see, we sometimes get complaints that a serious and no-nonsense traffic officer on road, that man is bad, they call him names, and they want that man should be removed, he's not compromising. But we are determined to fight corruption.
Do you maintain that kind of person?
Once we get such reports, we maintain such a person. And we always make sure that we insulate. You know, Ugandans are they don't say this man does not take bribes. They say this man is uncooperative. And that word uncooperative in quotes means a lot. But I must say, our motorists on road, don't give anybody any bribe. Make sure your vehicle is in order. When you drive and you are stopped by a traffic officer, don't come out of your car, drive off, stop, remain focused in your car, let him come, then talks to you from there. That's what we have. Also a code of conduct for traffic officers. You are not supposed to enter somebody's car and sit there. You are not supposed to stop a car, you stand a distance. If he stops you and stands a distance, just continue and go. Yeah, he has no business with you. He's supposed to come to you, greet you, good morning, sir, good morning, madam, whatever, good evening. May I look at your driving permit, or what, or why, how did you drive? And we also encourage them to educate people when they are on road. So, Mr. Bodwin, with the corruption, we have done some good progress in traffic, and the callers, if they're there, they will bear me witness. However,
so you said you have a standard, an ethical standard inspection unit.
As police,
yes,
we have the professional standards unit.
Yes, yeah. Which deals with the ethics and the
integrity.
Yeah,
exactly. But within traffic itself, again, we have also our internal mechanism. We have our section headed by a senior officer. And if you Google, even if you go and Google name Mutavingwa, they will tell you what he does in the traffic and whatever. We are determined to ensure that we fight corruption. But we want also motorists down there come, join the struggle, so that we ensure that when our people go on road, actually they do the right thing. It will, and once we cease compromising them, we are going to see road safety improving.
Well articulated. Thanks, Charles. Indeed. Now, Christopher, the issue of the population is self-compromising the police force and making it difficult to actually have the standards that are expected to be implemented, but also the crisis of chronic misbehavior of the population itself. How are all these things supposed to make sure that are alleviated, or we mitigate this kind of indiscipline and the way of misbehaving by the population itself?
Thanks, Baldwin. I think this whole behavioral aspect starts from our homes and communities. It is something we grow up with. I remember when we were growing up, we were always told, before you cross the road, look left, look right, look left again. Right now, even at the zebra crossings, people don't care. It is how we are being brought up now. The communities don't provide so much of education to young children, especially, on how to use the roads. The public itself, they probably don't know how to handle certain incidences if they happen. For example, accidents. If you've noticed on the roads, when an accident happens, people will just take out their phones and take pictures. Instead of doing the civic duty to help the victims, they will take pictures, they will take videos, and steal products. If a beer truck falls down, they will just go and try to take the beer bottles. So the communities have to come up again and start doing what they used to do before. Educate the people, educate the young children. The leaders in these communities should be above all this. And I believe that when we do that, the behavior change is going to be of the past. Of course, it can't all go away at the same time, but we'll be able to reduce most of the things. And we have to educate the people even on the road usage, because now we have so many good roads around. But there are signposts that people don't still understand. Some people don't know how to negotiate certain areas, because you find there's probably a road sign, but they are saying, what does this mean? And they'll just do whatever they feel like. Yes. But then, it's not what they're supposed to do.
But don't you think there needs to be an improvement on the way the signage actually is described for easier comprehension by the motorists or even just the general population? Because if you just put a signage and it's simply blank out there, as if it's a universal language that is understandable by all, it is just not serving the very purpose. So I think you should even put there an inscription. If it's a T-junction, put the element of a T-junction.
Actually, with ratifying the UN conventions in place, there are standard signs, the size and whatever.
By the way, that footage which is running, this is the Kampala Entebbe Express Highway. We have a good road.
It's a very good one. By law, we are supposed to have all those road signs, all the road signage. It must be standard. The color, the size, and whatever. You can't write anything other than what is acceptable right there. So with this, we are going to have standards, and I hope our roads and safety is going to
improve. Just as we wrap up, so can we have a positive spin, the optimism out there? Do we have a picture that the road safety status is going to be improved in the future to come, about 5 years down the road, that the carnage itself will reduce, that police ethical behavior, and of course the public itself will improve?
Exactly. You know why every human being by nature would want to do something to be in a comfort zone, and every person is potential maybe a crime, unless you make it so hard to ensure that such person does not commit an offense. So now, what are we going to do in the next future? For example, now we have master of the art speed guns. They will tell the number, they will tell the speed which you are driving, and they will record.
The speed guns are these devices where you're quite a distance, and then the gentleman just flags it as the car is coming, and you give me evidence that you've been overspeeding.
Apparently, like here, it takes a video, right?
It has a video. It even picks your number plate, and to will be played back, and it will show you at the speed you are driving. We have card readers now, permit readers. Gone are the days of forged driving permits. You just need, even if you have not moved, that's why I tell to motorists, you just always have in your phone your permit number. Yes. Even if you have not moved with it.
Even
Just-
if I just don't have the
Yes.
copy bit of it, I just
long
need
as
to
you
have
know
the
the
number, take a
number.
picture
The
and put
packet
on my
number.
phone. Okay.
Exactly. Once you flag it down, we have permit readers. We just punch it in. It will bring the whole details. You, your photo, the classes you have, and whatever. So gone are the days of these
Carrying the card itself.
exactly
and
forged from NASA Road, as they say. CCTV cameras. You know, Kampala, what is going in, they are already fitting them. They are not only for motorists, but even our traffic officers. We see you in a compromising position, you are moving around with somebody, we are able to see whether you are being compromised, whether what you are doing is unprofessional, and these cameras are going to be even on road. We may decide also to deploy
You're
our
sure
people
they're going to be sustainable and
Yes.
they're going to operate?
Hopefully.
Hopefully they do.
Okay, yes.
And gone are the days of drunken driving. Kaunyam, breath analyzers. I heard some people are saying that they are out of stock. Actually, we have
It was reported.
They are reported. We have them in number. Only that it had reduced. Drunken driving had reduced in Kampala. Then we had other challenges. So we
Shifted.
We shifted
Your
to do some
efforts
other things.
and
Exactly.
focus. And that's
But
where I
now-
think usually the dilemma comes from. Because you can always understand that where enforcement is consistent, actually
The
the problem
compliance.
that, yes, the problem is mitigated. When you withdraw from that, when you withdraw the enforcement from that particular area, then the problem
people,
resurges. So I think you need to make sure that that
of-
pattern of occurrence of events is really properly
Exactly.
heeded
Of course,
to.
the
Yeah,
challenge,
just
the
30
number.
seconds, and then I have
So-
him wrap up also, and we get out of here. Yes.
So 5 years to come, or right now, we are moving in the right direction. The roads are being paved, and we are also making sure we are upping to the task. We are also trying to put up we are the testing of drivers. Actually, police is going to improve. You know, we can't run the schools, but what we do, let's make sure that we test you. You can go anywhere to learn, but as long as you come here, we test you, and you are up to the standards, then we shall have the right drivers on road.
Thank you. Indeed. Yeah, it's Christopher, just
Yes.
lastly, the insurance industry
Yes.
and how you expect to contribute to the betterment of just about 30 seconds.
Yes, thank you, Baldwin. We as the insurers, we are trying to make sure that the general public gets awareness of what we're doing. We are trying to grow our industry, but we are trying to improve people's lives, people's communities, and we are encouraging every member of the community or the public, please get involved in these insurance activities, get insurance, because we are going to improve on the services that we offer to our clients, and as we work with the police, we encourage all those people that have gotten problems, especially with accidents. Do not hesitate to contact police, because now they are our closest allies when it comes to that. If anything happens, they are the first responders, and they connect the victims to us. So we encourage the public that anything that happens to you, don't shy away from us. And in case you find any problem in terms of insurance or any claims from our members, don't hesitate to contact us. You can always come to our head offices. We can help you in every way we can.
The offices are where?
We are located at Acacia Avenue, or you can call it John Babiha Road, plot 24A, or you can go to the Insurance Regulatory Authority.
Yes.
They are very able to help you, and I'm sure everyone will leave with a smile on their faces.
Oh, okay, and on that note, Christopher Bakesiga, the Technical Officer, Uganda Insurance Association, and just Sebamblide, in charge of enforcement in the Traffic Directorate, Uganda Police. By the way, you're smart, and generally the traffic police is smart. Thanks indeed for appearing on this discussion, and for making sure that we, in conjunction with us, we have this discussion. I pray that we have another discussion of the same kind.
Yes.
Please continue with the great work.
Thank you.
And thanks our viewers for keeping with us this late evening on a Friday, and I'm Karagao Baldwins. We'll continue bringing you such discussions as the best station, NTV, your #1 station. We are going to continue with our broadcast with DJ Brand Mix Show. Have a great night.